More anonymous than the Federal Witness Protection Program. It's the Nice Guys on Business.
Well, Glide had said to me, why would you want to stop doing this? And I'm like, why would you want to continue?
I told Bill that if they move my desk one more time, then I'm quitting. I'm going to quit. They moved my desk 4 times already this year. I used to be over by the window, and I could see the squirrels, and they were merry, but then they switched from the swing line to the Boston stapler. But I kept my swing line stapler because it didn't bind up as much, and I kept the staples for the swing line stapler, and it's not okay because if they take my stapler, then I'll set the building on fire, and I might even start listening to the Nice Guys on Business podcast. That'll teach them. Most days, they take their meds. This is not one of those days. Welcome to Fuckery with the Nice Guys. No interviews, no business content. Just your 2 favorite slack-jawed mouth breathers ranting about whatever. Now, strap yourselves in for Nice Guys Fuckery with the kings of fuckery, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
All right, so very interesting things are going on in the world of Doug and Strickland. First thing is, it is 2 after 3 o'clock on Thursday, and Strickland and I had a 3 o'clock meeting time to record Nice Guys Fuckery. And just so everybody knows, they may think you guys might think I'm a ball buster when it comes to my schedule, but it's only because I'm a ball buster when it comes to my schedule. So, Strickland and I have been partners for 8 years with TurnKey and our Nice Guys on Business podcast. And prior to that, Strickland and I worked at the agency. And one of the things that we learned in working at Washington Talent Agency is that most people don't have a good handle that are in the entertainment business on their calendar or their time. And I would consider what I have a very formal relationship with time. So when I know that I have a 3 o'clock appointment coming up, probably somewhere in the area of 2:30, I'm just glancing at my clock or my watch or my phone or my computer and saying, okay, I have that 3 o'clock appointment. So I'm going to make sure that everything surrounds the 3 o'clock appointment that is there. And then I, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes before the top of the hour, I will show up and I will just kind of get ready and be ready to go. And, right around 3 o'clock, I get an email or a text message from Strickland, and Strickland says, what did you say, Strick? What'd you say?
Let's look it up, because you know what? I should have just pulled this up, because I should have known immediately that as soon as I got in here, this is exactly what you'd be talking about. Be there in 5. By the way, I want to let you know it's 3 minutes after the hour.
All right, hold on a second. First of all, pull down the gain on your micro. The gain, you're just distorting a little bit, just a little bit.
It's because I'm a heavy metal guy.
I know. So here's the sequence of events. At 3 o'clock, I get a text message from Strickland that says, what were the exact words?
Be there in 5.
Be there in 5.
Why does this gain keep going all the way up every time? I don't understand why it rearranges.
There you go. Now you're good. All right. So at 3 o'clock, I got the message from Strickland that says I'll be there in 5 or be there in 5. Now, at 3 minutes before 3 o'clock, did you know that you were going to be 5 minutes after 3 o'clock? Because I'm on the phone with someone and I'm like, gotta go. I gotta go. And I hung up the phone. But at 3 o'clock, were you at 5 of 3? Where were you?
In a meeting.
Okay. And at 10 of 3, were you in that same meeting?
Mm-hmm.
And at 1:15, how much earlier was that meeting?
I've been in that meeting for the last hour and a half.
Okay. And what was that, a turnkey related meeting, or was that
No, it was not. No, it was not.
Okay. Because I'd give you a little bit of leeway. If it was a turnkey related meeting, because I can only imagine who you would have been meeting with for turnkey for an hour and a half, probably getting your head handed to you. But it was a full-time job commitment. Mm-hmm. And it's hard to give you a hard time, but I can give you a hard time because it's.
Oh, you can always give me a hard time anytime you like.
But it's the most fun. So somewhere around 1:15, and I know that your role with the company that you work with full-time, you're at and above where most people are level wise, right? So it's either you're talking to a client as a consultant or giving them advice, or you're talking to somebody that you're training and you're giving them training, right?
Yeah, usually, yeah. Those are both very common situations for a meeting for me. Yes.
It would be very rare that you would be on the phone, let's say, with a supervisor or the boss of the company where you're listening to them because you're a subordinate, right?
Very true.
So
that is correct.
Somewhere around quarter of, in my brain, I say to myself, it's quarter of. It doesn't feel like this is going to wrap up in 15 minutes. I'm just going to have to mention to them so outwardly I say to them, hey, John, just want to let you know, I have a hard stop at 3:00 because, or in your case, in 5:00 because I have another call I got to attend. And at 5:00, when it's continuing to run, I basically disconnected from the guy I'm talking to. So what happened in your brain, what happened at 5:00, which is 3:00 my time?
What happened was I looked at the clock at 10 till 5.
Yeah.
When my alarm went off.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, cool. I'm good. I'm wrapping this right now. And it was a problem that was a wrap your head around it problem. And if I didn't solve it, I was going to have to figure. But wait a minute, this isn't an excuse. Right, I want to explain.
Right, it's
right. No. But this isn't an excuse, okay? Because that doesn't give me the right to be 3 minutes late for you. But what I'm explaining is that I didn't look at the clock again until 5:00 exactly. So in other words, my head was wrapped around this, right? Yeah, and so, but that's independent. Like me wanting to complete it is independent of letting you know on time. The problem there was I thought I was going to solve it in 5 minutes, right? And then as I'm in it, I look at my watch too late. Now, if it was 10 till and I thought it was going to take 15 minutes, I would have reached out at 10 till. I miscalculated and I should have looked at my clock sooner to realize how close I was.
How much of a representation of this is of your entire life, though, is what I want to say. Because isn't this like a representation of your entire taking on too many responsibilities as a person, just taking on too many tasks, not delegating 100%. Out or overcommitting and getting to the point where you're actually under delivering because you've overcommitted. And while you want to overcommit and deliver, the problem is when you overcommit, generally because you're you and you take on a further responsibility, you're going to underdeliver almost without exception. You'll underdeliver.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
When you're an alcoholic and you realize that you're an alcoholic,
yeah,
and you want to solve the problem, realizing that you're an alcoholic is only half of solving the problem. I mean, you're part of the way there, but just knowing does not solve the problem.
So, but I did not enable today. So, and actually what I ended up doing is I started the recording at 3:00. I started at 3:00. I'm like, well, he's fucking not here. I'm going to just start the recording and I'm going to kind of riff about my formal relationship with time. Now, that being said, I also could be a lot less of a dick about it too. So,
well, you see, that was the point that I was going to bring up, because I would say of all the meetings that I go to, I would say that I am 1 to 5 minutes late. I'm including my work stuff too.
Yeah.
And I'm even including work stuff with coworkers where I know if I'm a couple minutes late, I'm not going to offend anybody because they're doing other things. Like if it's a customer, it's one thing. If it's internal, even including that, I would say I am anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes late 20% of the time, just ballpark.
Wow, that is
maybe 20% of the time.
That is
and your reaction, is exactly what I want to talk to our listeners about.
Yes,
okay?
That is a lot late. That 20% of the time.
How much do you think right now, even after you're not dealing with him anymore, how often is Robert Sherman 1 to 5 minutes late for a meeting?
Well, okay. Well, there's a difference between a person-to-person meeting and a Zoom meeting. Now, I won't give any latitude to either one because my feeling is I am 100% on time. At 99.9% of the time, I am on time. I had a meeting today with someone that was 3 minutes late for the meeting, right after yesterday, him being 3 minutes late for the meeting. I know it's habitual. It's not, hey, I'm sorry, I was running late or I was back to back with Zoom calls. It's, I'm fucking running late every day of my life. And this is how I run my life. This is not a person that I tend to want to do anything with, because for me, if he is, if he's sloppy with that, he's sloppy with other things too. So I feel like, man, I don't want to present or create any latitude. Now I know you, and I know that you have changed 178 degrees from where you used to be with meetings. And 1 to 3 minutes, it's not a big deal, with one exception. You got a guy that's sitting on the other end of the phone or the other end of that meeting that is wondering, I wonder if this person's going to show up.
Okay, but that's not with one exception. That's every exception. I mean, what you basically said was, it's okay as long as it's only 1 to 3 minutes late. It's okay, except in every situation where you didn't tell them at least a minute early that you were going to be 1 to 3 minutes late. That's exactly what you just said.
I just want people to know, not you, but when someone is late when you are you as in universal you, when one is late for a meeting, 1 to 5, 1 to 3, 2 to 6 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, whatever it is, do you know, if you have not contacted that person that you have the meeting with, they have no fucking clue if you're going to show up or not. So now you have derailed the agenda of the meeting by their wondering where you are.
Did I let you know that I was going to be late?
No, hold on. That wasn't it. That's not.
That's exactly, because you just said they have no idea what's going on. Did I let you know at 5:01 or 5:02 or 5:05?
No. And I said, okay. And okay. I said, okay, I was not this was not about you not arriving on time for the meeting. And I'm not upset about you being late for the meeting, but it did bring up a whole host of things that triggered me into this other thought process. Mm-hmm. And the other thought process is, when that guy was late 2 or 3 minutes for me today, all I kept thinking was, is he coming? Mm-hmm. I wonder if he's coming.
Yeah. Okay,
let me reach out to him. I wonder if he's coming. Now, is that just me that does that, or does everybody do that?
I think everybody does that. I mean,
now, why would you ever want, because you do that too, right? Do you wonder if at 2 minutes after or 3 minutes after, do you wonder, is this person coming to the meeting?
100%.
Why would anybody?
Here's the difference.
Well, I'm not comparing that. I'm not comparing that to what you did, because what you did was, at least at 5 o'clock your time, 3 o'clock my time, you said, going to be 5 minutes late. 5 minutes. And or 5 minutes or whatever you had said. And that was totally fine. But it then got me in the world of thinking, I had a meeting earlier today. It was 2 or 3 after the hour, and the guy didn't show up. And I'm just wondering, I wonder if I go back and look at my text messages, because I now collect people's phone numbers when they schedule appointments with me. And I want to go back and say, hey, and do a search. It's Doug. It's a few minutes after the hour for our scheduled appointment. Will you be much longer before joining? And I bet I send that out 2 to 3 minutes. I bet that I send that out 20 to 30% of the time.
Okay.
And the challenge with me is that I've put myself in a position, or maybe I'm put in a position, where now I'm thinking about something other than the agenda of the meeting. I'm actually thinking about whether this person is going to show up at the meeting or not. And I think
this is the key right here. Continue. This is what we want to come back to.
No, go ahead.
Continue. Okay. You, as soon as they are 1, 2, 3 minutes late, you have put yourself into that mindset. Now, you just said to me, on average, 20 to 30% of the time, you've reached out to people to say, hey, are you going to make it? Now, I would assume that you don't do that after a minute. But it sounds like you do it after 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'll have it queued up, ready to go, because now I'm on my time. Now I'm on meeting time, and I'm like, okay, at 1 after, I'm writing the message. 2 or 3 after, I'm sending the message that I wrote at 1 after the hour, because I'm wondering, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, now if I would make a suggestion, just as a
habitual late person.
I'm your life coach. No, I'm your life coach.
Okay, go.
Okay, Doug, it sounds like you have you've like as soon as it's 1 minute late,
right?
You don't feel the need to reach out to somebody and go, "Where the fuck are you?" Correct?
Yeah. Well, I
Now,
don't say.
and again, I'm
I don't ever say
exaggerating.
those words. I don't ever say those words. I don't even think those words. I'm just wondering: is this meeting being a waste of my time? Did I schedule this and could actually have some free time?
At what point do you start thinking that? At 1 minute after, 2 minutes after, 3 minutes after? Like, are they going to show up? Am I wasting my time?
Yeah, somewhere between 1 and 3 minutes after meeting schedule time, do I start to wonder, is this person coming?
Okay. And given that, and you said 20 to 30% of the time, which is
Let's go
significant.
20.
It's
30
a lot.
is significant. I'm going to say
it's significant.
It's 20%.
This happens. Okay.
Yeah.
What if, hypothetically, instead of feeling that way at 3 minutes, if you could train yourself to not start thinking that until 5 minutes. Now, I'm not saying 10, 20, 30 minutes. If you could consciously say to yourself, I am not going to worry about this until it's 5 minutes after. Do you think that would, what percentage of texts would you still be sending out in that case?
Probably less.
Well, certainly less, but would it be a little bit less, or do you think it would be a lot less? Because in my opinion, I would guess
it's probably a lot less. Yeah, it's
less.
probably a lot. It's probably a lot less.
So this is really an argument of degrees, because you have every right at 1 minute late, you have every right to be upset, but you don't allow yourself to get upset. You give people a minute, and you even give them 2 minutes.
What ends up happening is then
3 minutes, give them 5.
You know what really happens after that? Then after they connect, which is many of the times. I mean, very rare that I have a no-show just because of how many fucking notifications my auto scheduler sends out and text messages to them. I don't care if they're annoyed at that, because I don't like the experience of being late.
Agreed.
But generally when they connect, then they have to go into the litany of reasons why they were late with me. And all I keep thinking is, I don't give a shit why you were late. You should just be now focused on why the purpose of this meeting, in many which cases they actually called the fucking meeting to begin with. And I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. We have several clients that will schedule the meeting and show up late. And they're looking for our help. Mm-hmm. And maybe they're thinking, well, I pay these fuckers. I'll do whatever I want to do. I don't care if I'm late. I just don't like, I carry it as a level of disrespect, which maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I should just know, hey, this is what somebody does. And maybe this is what other people do. And maybe this is what vendors do to the people that they provide their services to. I don't know. I was just raised differently. I was just brought up in an environment where, or I just learned in an environment where if somebody is late, I'm fucking going to continue on.
So I agree that regular lateness is certainly a sign of disrespect. And I will name names and throw somebody under the bus. Not any of our clients, of course. But I would venture a guess that Robert Sherman, even today, is still.
I got to talk to him
especially
about that.
if you use a 5 minute window. I would guess he is late 85% of the time. And you know what his attitude is? He's got a Kanye attitude. His attitude is, you should be fucking happy I showed up at all. And I couldn't disagree with that more. So let's put that out of the way right now. The real question to me is, it's about the bar. Okay. In other words, where do you set your bar? I set my bar at 5 minutes. That I'm feeling Now, I'm not happy if I have to wait 2 or 3 minutes, especially today. Like you said, it's like you can't say my fucking watch was slow. Nobody's watch is slow anymore, right? Everybody's on the fucking computer time, right? So if somebody's 2 or 3 minutes late, I am not happy about it. And I'm feeling a little disrespected, but I'm okay in a 5 minute window. But that's me. And you've set your bar at a 2 or 3 minute window. So to me, that's the biggest difference is where do you set the bar?
I come back to the entire mistakes attitude. The mistakes happen in business. What's happened that really counts. For me, I feel like mistakes are the same way. Mistakes are bound to happen. I would just prefer not having a zero tolerance policy on mistakes. I when I was a DJ and in the DJ business, I never wanted there to be a mistake. Now, there are human beings involved in this, so there's going to be a mistake. Somebody is going to say somebody's name wrong when they do the introductions, or somebody's going to play the wrong first dance, or somebody's going to forget to bring the giveaways, or a dancer isn't going to show up. Shit like that happens. I just don't want it to happen. And I do my best to make sure that we go above and beyond for everything. And so I always feel like the easiest thing to do is to show up on time.
Right. But you also are a huge monster, firm believer in something that you just said. What is your tolerance level for error? And
Right.
it's zero.
Yeah.
And I would guess that if you polled 100 companies in America and said, what is your tolerance level for error? Not one of them would say 0%. Now,
Well,
I say this
yeah.
because I appreciate it. Okay. I'm not saying it to dig on you. Do I think it's unrealistic? Yeah. But I like having an unrealistically high goal for customer support for my company. I appreciate it. Although I don't believe it's realistic, but you want to have a goal that's higher than what you can actually achieve. I like doing that.
When you set a policy that allows for errors or has a tolerance for errors, you're going to get that error rate plus some. So if I say, look, I just know the business that we're in, we're going to have a 10% error rate because that's what statistically it says. So we're going to accept 10%. We're going to work towards 100, but we're going to accept the 10%. And what that actually is saying is the high bar that I have set is my 100 is really 90. And I look at it and think my tolerance for mistakes is 0. So 100 is my bar. If I'm less than that, can I live with it? Sure, I can live with it. But unless I set 100 as my goal, we'll never be there. If I set 90 as my goal, guess what? We're all going to be elevated to the degree of 90% is good enough, because that's where perfection is for us. No, perfection is 100%. And that's where I want it to be. It doesn't mean that I have an unrealistic expectation. It just means that this is where I set my bar. This is what I hold. I hold myself accountable to that same light. Yes, I still make mistakes. And yeah, I get disappointed when I make a stupid error or a mistake, or if I'm late for something. God, when I'm late for something, I feel so bad. I go above and beyond. But, it's like, at what point do you say, man, Doug, that's just not realistic. People aren't that way. You're holding them to a light that they'll just never be able to be accountable to.
So you only have so much control over somebody else's actions. But you do have some, like some people would go, you have no control over other people's actions. I disagree with that. I think if we hold our clients and we hold each other to the high expectations of be on time, and Doug, there have been times you've been late. I mean, not very often with meetings with me, but it happens, right? And I think if we hold our clients to those expectations and we do give them shit when they are late or when they are wasting our time or holding us up, I would hope that their behavior, it would help to change their behavior. Okay, so I do agree with that. But the question is expectation versus what you really believe is going to happen. And you're right. It's like, if I don't know, we're kind of saying the same thing and going back and forth on it, but it's you've got your perspective and I've got mine, and I love that you hold us to this standard. I want to be held to this standard because I do appreciate it. Now, when something that I feel is like really insignificant happens and you get really upset, I will let you know that I think you're overreacting. Now, when something insignificant happens and you bring it up, I don't boo-hoo it.
Right.
I don't be like, oh, it's okay that we made that mistake. No, it's not okay. But when you get really the level of how important it is to you or me and how upset we get about it is something we have control over. And I think that's something that we need to keep an eye on.
Well, I think sometimes the minor error that is a careless error for me that I see means that we just don't have our house in order. It's not in the proper order. We're not, I brought up an issue that we had earlier today. And again, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. We had some art that was designed for us. And as a part of the art, it needed a revision. The revision was made and the revision was wrong. And the revision was cutting off the top of the person's head in the photo. And it was easy to me as let's say a customer, a consumer, to be able to look at it and say, all you needed to do was look at it to know that it was wrong. Where did it go wrong? And then I'd start telling the stories. And I know that I try not to go down this path too far, but then I keep telling the story that says, if this is not being looked at carefully, what other things aren't being looked at carefully either? And then, look, I don't think I'm a perfectionist, but I am somebody that wants the job done right. And if it can be done right, why, if it could be done, why can't it be done right? It's not like it's a insurmountable obstacle in the task. It's just all you need to do is actually just look at your work. Just be proud of your work.
Okay, so let's go to context again then. And before I forget, welcome back. My name's Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler.
Hey, and by the way, we have like 4 or 5 voicemails.
Yeah, I know. I just downloaded them all.
Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, whatever. Context. You said it is a careless error, right? Now, to me, that's context, and the why matters. So let's take an example. Hey, this was you have labeled it.
Can you use that same? Can you use the same example? Okay.
You've labeled it a careless error, right? Let's say the first time the guest name was spelled wrong, right? And I agree, probably a careless error, but maybe there are 2 other places in the thing that it is spelled differently, and they spelled it the way it was in the show notes instead of the way it was in Monday. Okay. Still careless, but to me, not quite as careless. Now, when we asked to fix it and it's still broken.
Hold on, before you continue.
Okay.
By just looking at one of those and not looking at the 2 other areas where the spelling was made, it means that the person that's assigned to the job is literally just looking at their job in a vacuum. They're not looking at their job in the overall context. When somebody gets the name of a guest wrong in the title and they haven't seen it spelled correctly the other 4 times, they haven't gone through the work to see. And I'm not asking them to go through the work to double check everything, but I am saying, hey, we need to get the spelling right. Whatever it takes to get the spelling right of a guest's name, we've got to jump through every hoop in order to do that. And sometimes it requires you actually taking a breath, sitting back a little bit and saying, where else would I find this guest's name?
Okay, but everything is cost versus benefit. And I am a context guy. Everything in my life is cost versus benefit. So let's take this example to the extreme.
All right.
Let's say that I am doing the show art. And I look at Monday.com and I see that the name is spelled one way and I spell it that way. And I'm done with my job. And that job takes me 5 minutes to do. Okay. Now, alternatively, if that's me doing my job in a vacuum, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now,
right.
Alternatively, and I'm putting the art on here too, like an image, right? Okay. So alternatively, I could check the show notes and make sure that it's spelled correctly there. And I could also go to the links on any
of the social media links.
On social media links.
Right.
I could go to their LinkedIn. I could find their image on their website. Now, if I do all those things to make sure that I am doing my job perfectly well, because I don't want to do it in a vacuum, I've just doubled the amount of time it takes to do my job. Now,
I think you're.
If this is a job that takes an hour,
I think you're exaggerating.
But that's it. Cost versus benefit. If you think it takes a minute to do it, it's worth it. If it takes 5 minutes, it's not.
Right. But in this particular case, you actually could have done, not in the example that you used, but the one that I used before, you could have actually centered the photo. And it wouldn't have taken you any extra time if you just did the job right to begin with.
Okay, but that's a different example. I'm giving you my example because I want to make the argument about just because your answer always is, which again, on the surface of it is easy because you're kind of a black and white guy. Just do the fucking job. Just do it right the first time, right?
Okay. And you and I both know the answer to this question, but would you have any problem if somebody, instead of spending 5 minutes doing the job, spent 10 minutes doing the job, even if that means the multiplier effect equates to, it's not everything that needs to be double checked. Some stuff is is brainless and you don't need to actually double check it. But in the case of a guest name, or just looking and seeing a red line in the show notes because something in Google Docs told you that this is spelled wrong or using it wrong grammatically, you make the correction. And so for me, I look at it and think, yeah, it may take you a moment extra, but the grief that's going to be caused when the customer, look, I don't think anybody does this intentionally. None of our workers are saying, or you or me or whoever made the mistake is not doing anything intentionally. You know, you made a change to something and you did a great change. You changed the photo and everything looked great. You just forgot to change the episode number, which was back to 001 instead of 069 or whatever it was supposed to be. And what I thought was, great job making the photo change, but why didn't you just check the number? And so you didn't do it purposely, but how much extra effort would it have taken if you looked at the entire project as opposed to just looking at the photo or whatever it is that you changed in the title?
How many elements are on the project?
Well,
I don't know. There's the name, there's the title, there's
you've created checklists and processes and systems to help people on our team realize that there is a system in place. When you bypass the system, that's when the fuck ups happen. And so had you actually followed your own system, you would not have made that mistake.
And so I don't do this job because I don't follow fucking systems. That's the problem. That's why I try not to do the job. But okay, I'm going to run it all the way.
Yeah, we went.
I want to run it all the way out to the end because I want to give you my thought process on this.
All right, I'm with you.
As a business owner, my thought process is, I'm going to hire people that I think are going to do a good job, and I hope are going to do a good job. Okay. Now let's say 90% of the time they do it right, 10% they do it wrong.
Ouch.
That's a pretty high percentage of doing it wrong, but let's just, for
good. I'm glad
argument's
you agree with
sake,
me there.
I totally agree, but just for argument's sake, let's say that. Now, the way I've set the system up, hopefully, if everything works the way it's supposed to, is that person, and show art is a great example, right? This image has been created.
And for those of you in our community that are listening to this is not about podcast production. This could be about any fucking thing that you do that has a system behind it. And if you're an entrepreneur and you don't have a system, you're fucking going to run out of time and you're going to hit a ceiling on how much money you can make. So listen to this and translate this into your fucking world. Okay, go ahead.
I would have cut this conversation off 10 minutes ago if it was specific to podcasting. The only reason I'm continuing is because this is fucking life and business and entrepreneurship and fucking big picture shit, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the systems that we have set up, let's say 90% of the time, that 9 out of 10 they do correctly, 1 out of 10 they do incorrectly, right? Now, from there, when the art is created, somebody different posts the art. Now, they have a checklist. So that art is going to be checked. So now if, let's say it took them 5 minutes to create it, 5 minutes times 10 of these, 50 minutes. So one of them is wrong. The person checking if everything is going correctly is going to catch that. They're going to ask the person to redo it.
Reduced our error a little bit because now that person has corrected it. Or checked it.
Right. Checked it. Now that takes another 5 minutes. Okay. So now again, this is in a vacuum. I've got a job that was done, that by the way that I'm saying to do it. Again, this is if everything works perfectly, which it doesn't always. I've got a job that 10 times, over 10 times it being done, it's taken 50 minutes to do. And there was one error, which means it's going to take an additional 5 minutes to correct the error. Now, if I said to them specifically, look, guys, here's the deal. Every time you do this, you need to check each of these elements 3 times. So now I've got a job that 10 times, instead of taking 50 minutes, will take 100 minutes. Now, if I didn't have my check, I would have no problem with it taking 100 minutes. But I'm hoping that the check is going to catch 90% of the errors. So now we're down to doing it correctly 90% of the time, and that's going to catch 90% of the errors, which still lets 1% slip through, which when we've got clients that are picky, that could be too much, and I'm good with that.
Right.
That's why we have another check the next day.
After the episode comes out.
After the episode comes out, they go through exactly the same checklist. Now, hopefully, they do this at 4:00 in the morning, right after the episode comes out, because if it slipped through our first two, then they're going to catch it before the client even wakes up and notices, and we're going to make the correction. So the only reason that I disagree with you, big picture, is because I've set up these other two tests.
Unless, of course, you're one of our clients that wakes up at 3:01.
Right, exactly.
The episode airs.
Now, let's take the bigger picture of that. Let's take this person that I've hired that I think is going to do a good job. And I realize that instead of erroring 10% of the time, which again, 10% is going to be too fucking high for me, but let's hypothetically say they make errors 30% of the time.
Oh, God,
and,
that's my nightmare.
and we catch them. Now, if somebody is new at the job and maybe they don't have a sense of the importance of the attention to detail, and the 30% is about 29% too high for me, I'm going to have that conversation with them. And then if, let's say a week later, a month later, if they are still at 70%, I'm going to fire them. If they're at 90%, I'm going to talk to them, but I'm pretty fucking close to firing them. That's the difference. So Doug, when you say just do the fucking job right, I believe there are people out there that don't give a fuck about doing the job right. No matter how many times I tell them they need to check this shit, they are not going to do it right. And they're not for us. I call this the sorting hat. If we have somebody who, when I talk to the check person and they say, you know what, fucking, it seems like every time I check one of Joe's images, it's wrong. And I've already talked to Joe twice. Joe's fucking gone. Somebody else is doing the job. That's the big picture of the way I look at it. So while I agree with you, I want to be held to this perfect standard. I want to be held to the perfect standard on the third check. But the first check and the second check are the way that we weed out the bad people. And that can take some time because we sometimes make bad decisions on who we hire. I mean, it happens every once in a while.
The beauty of this is none of this would have happened had Strickland not been 3 minutes. you realize that, right? This is all about Strickland's being 3. All of this great content was the catalyst of that was Strickland sending me the text message, which even if he had arrived exactly 3:00 after sending the text message,
it would have been all over. It doesn't matter. It's too late. That ship, as soon as I hit send, that ship has sailed, baby. Oh yeah, I know you very well. Yes.
Totally right. Oh, by the way, I want to, before we get to the voicemails that are here, I just would like to talk about a milestone that is coming up in literally 48 hours. And that milestone is I will be performing at my last bar mitzvah.
That's fucking amazing. I think I'm going to be able to drop by too.
What?
I think I'm going to be going to visit my brother earlier in the day. And I was planning on going right from there to see a friend in Western Maryland, but that's not going to work out. So I have to come back to the Olney area anyway. So I'm going to work that out so we get done with that early enough that I can come and see you.
Well, you are welcome to be there. Just dress blacks. That's all I got to say. Just dress black. That's all you need to show up and dress black and be ready to roll. While you were sending me the text message saying that you were going to be a couple of minutes late, Glide was calling me on the phone with a change of dancer for my event, because we have party motivators, party dancers that show up for those in our community that have never been to a bar mitzvah. They give me a certain amount of latitude, but no more, because they realize that even the best of MCs need people on the dance floor to do all the dance moves. Because at 6'4", 175 pounds, and is every bit skinny as I am Jewish, I do not know how to dance very well on the dance floor. So they send some party motivators with me, and he had a last minute change. And I said, hey, Glide, just want to let you know, Glide is the guy that arranges for the dancers and owns his own company. I said, Glide, this will be my last bar mitzvah. And he was like, oh, it comes to an end. We're both the same age. He's been doing it for about the same amount of time. He's probably done even more bar mitzvahs than I have, because he used to do like 3 or 4 or 5 in New York every weekend.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So this is somewhere around 2,100. I lost count. So this is about crazy. 2,000 plus bar mitzvahs. This is the last one that is on my schedule. My schedule has since 1992. since 1992, my
Mhm.
schedule has not ever been empty with bar mitzvahs.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So is he sending you hot dancers? How many do you have?
2 dancers, 1 guy, 1 girl, break dancer, and I don't know.
Oh, break dancer. That's cool.
A
Okay.
break dancer and a girl dancer. And I'm doing a bat mitzvah, which means it's for a girl, for those of you that don't know. And it's 39 kids. 38 of the 39 kids are girls.
That's so crazy.
And
it makes it easier, actually, for those of you that don't know.
Yes,
When you get a whole bunch of
totally.
boys, fuck, that's hard.
I'm still good at that, but it's more girls than boys. And it is 100 adults. It's at a venue that I've played at probably more than any other venue in my entire life, the Ten Oaks Ballroom in Clarksville, Maryland. It is Washington Town is doing the photography, so Allison is doing photography. Dave Harris is doing video.
No, oh my God, it's going to be like Old Home Week.
It's like my peeps. It's the second one I've done for this family. The last one was 7 or 8 years ago. I think the kid is almost 20, and it's just like, I know, I feel like I'm going home for my final one. Like it's painting the picture of the ideal final party for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so excited to be able to do it.
And I'll be taking the last train there. Last train to Clarksville.
Last train to Clarksville.
I had a family one time, the Verones, who they had 5 kids.
Yeah.
I played 4 of their kids' mitzvahs, and I did 3 of the same kids' weddings. Crazy.
That is crazy. I want to, maybe at some point I will count up since 1992 if I can figure out how to count this up. I have no idea, but I'll figure out what the gross revenue was.
Oh my God, you don't want to do that. Jesus. That would be depressing.
What the gross revenue was, what the net profit was, and how much of that I had to give to both of my divorces.
That'd be a pretty cool number to come up with, though. That would be. In fact, I think Washington Talent Agency is getting ready to finally get rid of Telemagic,
Wow.
which is the relational database program that I wrote for them 23 years ago that they've been trying to replace for years, but they can't find another one that does everything that it does. They're spending a lot of money on Salesforce. So, if you want to get that information, you might want to ask David for it now.
Well, David Cohen did give me like the events that I had done. I forget, he gave me some numbers and I forget what it ended up when. I think there was like 1,700 bar mitzvahs I had done through Washington Talent. Wow. And if I just look at some of the raw numbers, it's millions of dollars.
Millions.
In
at least tens of millions. I don't think you hit 100 million. I wouldn't guess, but
no fucking way would I hit 100 million. It's probably close to, it's somewhere between $5 million and $10 million in business that I did for the agency. And I was excited to be able to do it, man. I don't think that I would have been at the level of revenue had I not had the agency. And I don't think, and I don't think that I would have been as successful as a DJ had it not been for the agency, but not because of the training that they provided. It was more because they just created the volume, just the volume. You hand me a prospective customer, I'm going to close the deal. You give me a warm lead, 90% chance a warm lead is going to become a client of mine. Mm-hmm. You give me an opportunity to upsell the 90%, and I'm going to probably almost 100% upsell that, not because I've thought of anything, but because I've given them the opportunity to make a decision and not sell them anything, which is how people like to be sold. They like to buy. They don't want to be sold.
Yeah, no doubt.
Great environment. Just a great environment. I am happy to be doing my last one though.
And what people don't realize is there are only 52 Saturday nights in a year. Right. And sometimes those are holidays that you're going to avoid. And that's when the parties are.
46 weeks of the Saturdays of the year, you typically could do a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah. And I was doing anywhere between 70 to 85 of them every year.
Yeah. Yeah. And they get booked 2 to 3 years out. That's it. It's not like a wedding. And now a wedding, sure, often they're booked a year out, maybe. But like a mitzvah, you know exactly when it's happening, and when the synagogues give dates out. That's probably
years
like
in
Jewish
advance.
top secret stuff that we don't talk about.
Well, Glide had said to me, "Why would you want to stop doing this?" And I'm like, "Why would you want to continue?"
Right? Oh my God. I've been out of the wedding band thing for 4 years. And every time I talk to Ben, I'm like, dude, why do you keep doing
Well, Glide kept saying to me, he's like, well, this like the back of your hand. And I'm like, I said, I know, like the back of my hand. The challenge is when I look at my schedule and I see a bar mitzvah coming in 3 weeks, that it's an all consuming. Look at how I feel about when Strickland is 3 minutes late for an appointment. Imagine imagine the stress that goes into the planning and all of that. Somebody's literally dropping $75,000 to $150,000 typically on a 4-hour event. I'm running the event for them. Don't you think I'm fucking nervous when that happens?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done with the stress of it. Dealing with the party planners.
Holy shit! What is that I am looking at right now, Strickland?
We got 5 fucking voicemails, dude. We're 40 goddamn 5 minutes in. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not 46 minutes in.
49 minutes.
Episode wise, we're 46 minutes in. I've only been here for 43 of those, but since you started on time, yes, the episode is 46 minutes in.
I'll send you I have I'm gonna have the Zoom cloud recording. I recorded on the cloud this time.
Okay. But we don't never mind. We don't need separate tracks. It's you and me. I'm not actually going to edit this shit.
And we do get separate tracks now on the cloud too.
Oh, nice. Okay, good to know.
All right, so you hit all the sound things, right? Everything looks good?
I did share sound, but let's see. Options. Okay, previously when I said headphones, you hear it. But sometimes, like last time we did it, when I'm just showing you, okay? I didn't forget. I did share sound. You see it says headphones. This is what it's supposed to be. Tell me if you hear anything.
Why there's like so many different peaks and valleys in this.
I know, right?
It looks like 3 different people left voicemails.
Yeah, these 3 are very compressed and these are much more open. Yes.
But I'm curious why you left the volume level down on those 3.
I'll probably pull them up as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, this is Hindenburg does that automatically. So the relative volume. Oh yeah, you don't edit in Hindenburg enough. It sets the relative volume automatically, and since these are so compressed, the apparent volume, I don't know what they call it, but basically the perceived volume is higher, so it turns the actual volume down.
Did somebody hear Charlie Brown's teacher? Because Charlie Brown's teacher was right there. Okay, let me make one promise before you hit the beginning of the theme song. I am not going to say anything between the end of the theme song and the beginning of message number 1. So you can just pop it right up there because I think that would probably be good. And
dude, so now I get to actually use my prowess as a audio editor, and people can hear now exactly, if I didn't think you were going to say anything, how I would set it up. Yes.
All right. I do reserve the right.
Continue.
All right, I won't. I'm just going to mute myself. All right, go ahead. I'll just talk to myself. Go.
Okay. Now, you got to tell me if you're hearing this, though.
Nope. Nothing.
You know, for the last 3 months, I put it on headphones and it works. And now all of a sudden, I got to do the speakers.
Well, you know, there was an update to Hindenburg, and it probably is an auto update for you because you use the program so often. So maybe it did something in your system. I don't know.
I haven't upgraded it yet. I mean, I've downloaded the upgraded version, but it's not really that much better.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay. Now I got to pull an ear out so I can fucking hear.
Now, because of the challenge with the beginning playing, I do reserve the right to be able to interrupt at the end of this. All things are all changed now.
I was looking for any excuse to say something. Okay, here we go. We got a voicemail from Jared. I said a voicemail from Jared. You know a voicemail from Jared. Nobody else will call. We got a voicemail from Jared. Screw the rest of y'all.
Hello, Doug and Strickland. It is I, Emily.
Hello, Emily.
The show with Adam. Fantastic. Also, I have so many thoughts, but first of all, I didn't expect, I heard his voice and I listened to the podcast, and then I went on to Doug's Facebook and matched up a face to the name, or the voice, I should say, and I was very surprised.
Sexy.
But just a really fun listen. I agree with Adam about Curb Your Enthusiasm and Schitt's Creek. Like, those forms of humor for some reason are so funny to me. Also, I don't know if you guys have seen this show yet, but Jury Duty, it's on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have it and if you watch it, I'm not going to say anything about it, but it's hilarious. Okay. And then the last thing I want to say, well, good job on the chest find. Like, I guess you guys found like a chest on the side of the road, and I saw photos of that, and I was like, that was amazing, beautiful, amazing score. I'm really glad Adam agrees on the music, and I absolutely, I was just busting out laughing at how he broke the news to you that he hated the song. And last thing I want to say is a little rude about saying, oh, this is the first time we've ever had a third person on our show that felt natural and like it was in a flow. A little rude, considering you said the same thing to me. So anyway, that's all I have.
We're whores.
Great job. Hope Adam comes back. And as always, of course, I enjoy listening to the show. And I have thoughts about being a client, but we're going to talk about that when it's recorded.
So I think when you said that, didn't I defend Emily? I thought I said something like, well, Emily too.
All right.
I don't remember.
I don't remember saying anything. I do remember that we said that it kind of flowed, or it was really good. First time this has flowed this well, or something like that. But you've got to keep in mind, we don't even know what we talked about last week. So come on, why would you hold me any more accountable to me remembering the great guests, ones that flowed versus the bad guests, the ones that didn't flow? I can't even tell you the name of maybe 5 guests that have been on in the 1,400 episodes that I've had.
I'm pretty sure that when you said that, I was like, oh, well, and Emily too. Emily like totally flows. And anyway, maybe
now
not.
Who
Emily,
else
if I didn't, I'm sorry.
Who else is going to have an exception to that? It will be Erica, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we said anything about Emily and we said something negatively and we said something positive about Adam being the co-host, Erica's been there. And Jared has been there. Now, maybe Jared will say something about being, there's too many opportunities for us to fuck up. Just know this. We love everybody. We are equal opportunity bashers. And we only said it because Adam was on the show. And when anybody else comes on the show, we will be two-faced also and say the same thing about them, just so that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Just calling it like I see it.
Now, she did say she stalked and looked up Adam, and she said interesting, but she didn't say good or bad.
She did say a couple things that I noticed. Number one, she did say that she looked on Facebook, which immediately I went to stalk her, and then that actually was a little hot. And then the second thing was she said the word score, and again, same thing there, same thing. Thank you, Emily. We appreciate you paying that much attention. I didn't actually do a count on how many times she said your name versus how many she said Strickland's name. I mean, my name.
Yeah.
Whatever.
She said your name a lot more this time.
Oh, good. Excellent. As
I'm
it
a
should
little
be.
jealous, but
As it should be.
I'll get over it. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Doug. Hey, Strick. Jared here. So, damn, you guys are starting it off with fire today. I hear Adam's reaction to the voicemail for Jared's theme song. How dare you say it's horrible? I love my theme song, Adam. And then, Strick, you're talking about your beard, and it's a Van Dyke. Dude, thanks for the homage, man. So now you're wearing me on your face. That sounds so horrible saying it out loud.
Damn.
Oh, I love it. Oh, shit. I don't even know if you put that together, realizing my last name. So,
no.
All right, guys. Anyways, you got me calling in. Just started. And this is probably going to be one of those weird ones where we're going to have some separation between voicemails because it's late at night and I'm finally just now ready to listen because it wasn't ready when I was ready. All right, guys. Love show. Can't wait to hear the rest of this one.
So it's funny. You didn't even notice because you were so hot that I was 3 minutes late. I shaved my beard down.
Holy shit. Hold on a second. I got to find the screen again and I got to enlarge your photo. Hold on a minute. Check you out. How come?
I got bored with it. Got tired of it. like taking care of it and shit. So
Well,
I still have the beard. Still have a beard, but
I
it's
like
like
the
short
beard.
again.
At both levels, I like it. It's definitely more sculpted face when you have the pointy beard, the Robin Hood style beard, or whatever you want to call that.
I think it made me look old.
But you did?
I thought so. But what else? Please continue. You want to talk about?
But I like, see, the beard that you have right now is like the style of beard that I have.
Yeah.
It's very close cropped. I have a little bit more gray, a lot more gray in my beard than you have in yours. It's almost like it's the opposite. I have gray where you have. That's kind of,
that's funny because I got gray like right down here on my chin, and that's the only place you don't have it.
But I like it. I like it like this. And now that you've said it, you do look a little younger with it the way that it is right now. But I would have gone. I liked them both, but I do like this look for you as well.
Cool. Me too. All right, we ready for the next voicemail?
Yep, do it.
Okay.
Hey, Doug, it's Rick Jared here. Voicemail number 2. Damn, that was fast. Adam is on a roll, man. He's on fire with you guys. Hey, Adam, giving you a shout out and just saying, wow, Kratos and Strick's beard looking better on Kratos. Did you like it on him? Oh man, I'm loving this already. It's good to have you on here. I like the change, and man, you're going for the jugular. All right, guys. I can't wait till the rest. See you guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Adam's first comment when I first came on camera. He was like, "Whoa, dude, you could cut somebody with that."
with your beard?
Yeah, the angle of my beard, because it was kind of tight and pointed in the front, right? He was like, "You could cut somebody with that."
Well, I look at that as a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready for the next voicemail? I think this one's from Jared too, and then the last one
this
I think
would be
is from somebody
voicemail
else.
number 3 then from Jared.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, it's Rick Jared here. So I think this is voicemail number 3. It's a whole new day. I picked back up, made it farther in the episode. I'm sure I'll finish it today, but you guys now are talking. Adam just says, basically, who the fuck listens to this? This is boring.
Right.
And Adam, I mean, yeah, I guess I can kind of see that, but I'm enjoying my time listening because, I mean, look at it from my point of view, Adam. I'm outside, a little bit cooler. It's a beautiful day in my mind, and I'm picking up dog crap. Listen to you guys. So, which would you rather do, this part or listen to that? So, I mean, it kind of go hand in hand, I guess, to some extent, but this is
the dog crap.
the highlight of my day now. All right, guys, appreciate you. Can't wait to get back to this. Oh my gosh, this has been good listening into your guys' conversation. It's got a little new flair to it. A little flair called Adam Sandler. All right, guys, see you.
And this last one has a very different voice profile, which is why I think maybe it's not Jared. It's very dynamic.
I'm ready.
There? Yeah, you were so still. I thought you froze up.
I was looking at the sound wave. I'm ready. Go.
Okay.
Hello, Doug and Strick. It's Erica here.
I hear you.
Hopefully just voicemail number 1, and I won't ramble on too long. First off, loved the show on Friday. Loved hearing your son, Doug, your son, Adam, and getting to know him. I was thinking there'd be a lot of testosterone on Friday, but you guys managed it really well.
Thank you.
Most of it, that is, and I'll tell you about the part that I didn't jump up and down about. I think, Doug, you got a little hijack with your judge when it came to talking about my message the week before about things falling off the truck and the GTO. First off, I'm sorry to say you're very wrong. Things still fall off trucks.
Hold on. Can you hit pause for a second?
Italian heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So she's referencing not only the week that she just listened to, which was the day before she probably left the message, but the week before that. Now that's too deep. I don't even remember. Do you remember having that conversation? Do you remember having I
remember, now that she's bringing you back up, I remember having the conversation, but I don't remember your reaction to it.
I don't remember anything not like contradictory or didn't things get always fall off the truck? Do things like that? Did I say things like that don't happen anymore? Or maybe
Seems like they don't happen as much anymore.
All right. All right. Rewind maybe 5 seconds in that, because I got to go back because I want to get my head straight here.
Okay, I did.
Me and my Italian heritage can tell you a lot about this. Still currently, even with social media, and it also doesn't mean things get stolen, and it isn't traceable. So I'll fill you in if you ever want to have me on. I'll be glad to tell you. And in addition, the GTO wasn't stolen. I was leaving that little information because we were talking about hard money loans, and the GTO was collateral from a hard money loan that Grandpa made, and Grandpa also was known as a loan shark. So that was kind of a fun story, and I think you got a little ahead of yourself with thinking that those things don't happen current. They still do. So feel free to have me on, and I'm glad to chat more, but just so you know, that's what that was about. All right. Love the show. Love you guys, but I just had to say my piece. Okay. Bye.
I was thinking that it would be unusual for like a car to fall off the truck, so to speak, and collecting it as collateral on a defaulted loan makes much more sense.
Did I allude to the fact that doesn't happen and I didn't believe her, or did it? That's what happened?
No. You, the way I remember it, at least, you alluded to the fact that it probably doesn't happen that much anymore. That it's much more challenging, especially.
Oh, I remember why, because
ticket items like cars, exactly.
Because of technology, and it's easier, and reciprocity from state to state and technology. Right. I don't know that I said anything that I was being contradictory to what she said, and I don't feel like she was picking a bone with me with what she had said to me. So, Erica, we are all good. There was a series of text messages that we exchanged back from each other. Basically, the gist of it was, after leaving the message, I might realize that wasn't my nicest message ever. I'll leave it to you. Perhaps you can listen ahead of time. If you don't want to put it on the show, please don't. It wasn't me at my best. And I was thinking, I don't know that there is no bone. And then I wrote back, all good. I'm sure it's cool. You are a good person, and I'm sure it's nice. It's basically my message. So I didn't have any problem with what I heard her say in the beginning. How I responded to her was not controversial or confrontational. What she said in response, I don't think that she was picking a bone. And what I'm saying in response back is, it's all good. It's the nice guys. You can't possibly say or do anything except for be late that would ever be of disservice to me as a listener to the show, Erica, and as a friend. You're calling it the way you say it, and totally fine with that.
And in that vein, Erica, I'd love to hear a call from you next week about the beginning of the show. And like what you think is at work with Doug everything we talked about at the beginning of the show and the 3 minutes late.
Yeah.
Or Erica and Emily.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I would like to know, based upon what she heard at the beginning in the first 40 minutes of this episode, I would be really inclined to take a deeper dive, whether it's on the show. I don't know if I want to do it on the show, only because we really want to rehash this again?
Yeah, probably not.
So I don't know that I want to do that, but what I'm thinking is I want to understand a little bit more about, like, well, why was I triggered with that? Why is this a problem for me? I don't know. Maybe.
I'd like to know.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then all good.
I mean, we don't have to do it in front of our thousands of listeners, but
I don't know that they're going to care or think it's of interest. I'm just curious as to where did I get hijacked? I'm not saying I wasn't hijacked. I'm saying, why was I hijacked? Like, what is it? Was it my mom leaving me at school a couple of times and me being the last person to leave the school? Could that be it? Maybe it is. I don't know. Don't know.
But we are now an hour and 4 minutes in.
All right, let's wrap. We'll get out of here. We'll see you guys next week. Steve O'Brien, go ahead. I know this is an abrupt ending, but you know what? You could have jumped out of here 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, an hour ago, and probably gotten the same amount of content. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. You know, I've done opens and closes for these bozos for 400 plus episodes. I've moved, I've had plastic surgery, I keep renewing the restraining order, but nothing has worked. They keep on finding me.